Hello everyone and welcome back to Circus Tutorials. In today's tutorial we'll be teaching you how to juggle 4 balls. So 4 balls. The next step after 3 because, well, we're adding 1 more. So in the last video we learned how to juggle 2 in one hand as well as a couple different tricks that we can do with it, and that is very important to be able to juggle 4 balls. So if you can't juggle 2 in one hand, in both hands at this point, I'd recommend go back to that video, learn a couple of different tricks, get those pretty consistent, and then come back to this one. If you're already fairly consistent with doing 2 in each hand, we are ready for this video. So the secret, the big secret to 4 balls, the untold secret, juggling's greatest secrets revealed, is 4 balls is 2 in one hand and 2 in the other hand at the same time. A lot of people say, no, that can't be it, that's cheating, you have to make them cross. No, this is how you juggle 4 balls. You do half in one, half in the other. Same thing if you do 6 or 8 or 10, half is in one hand, half is in the other. It has to be divided evenly. That's why when we do 3, 5, or 7, they have to cross because each hand has to take half the pattern. So 2 in one, 2 in the other. So because it's 2 separate patterns, there's actually 2 different ways we can do it. We can either do it synchronously or asynchronously. So synchronous looks like this, where both hands throw at the same time. And asynchronous, where they're in split time, where they're going at different times. But if you look closely, you'll see the white juggling balls stay in my left hand, and the purple and black ones stay in my right. They do not cross. Of course, there are ways that we can make it cross, but for the basic, simplest pattern, they do not cross. So the way I recommend learning how to do it is, first off, 2 in one, 2 in the other. Get that really easy. And then we're going to try to do it synchronously first. It's actually harder than asynchronous, but it helps us learn faster. And the reason for that is because our dominant hand usually throws a little bit lower than our non-dominant hand. You would think it'd be the other way, but our non-dominant hand usually throws higher than our dominant hand. So if we go in split time, one hand throws higher than the other and it gets really weird and out of time. Where if we throw at the same time, we can instantly see if they're not going to the same height. So if they're not going to the same height, we get instant feedback and then we can switch that. So that being said, working on it synchronously, we're going to work our way up the same way that we worked up with 2 in one hand. We're going to try to do 2 throws, or in this case, it would be 4 throws total, but 2 throws each hand. 1, 2, stop. 1, 2, stop. And at first, the second set of throws is going to go really close in the middle, and that's okay. That's just part of the process. They tend to go really close. Just focus on making sure they arch out, so that way you have a lot of room, so that way they don't collide. Because this will happen where they collide quite a bit with this pattern. It just takes practice in getting that scooping motion for them to go inside to outside. Work our way up with 2, then 3, and eventually work our way up to being able to do more. Once we can do about 10 or so throws, so somewhere in about that ballpark, I would say try to learn it off time, asynchronous. And once you get this to where it's pretty solid with the heights, asynchronous is going to be very easy. But we're going to work up the same way, just do a couple throws at a time. So 4 throws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 throws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and work our way up that way. Once you break it down, it's not too hard of a idea to get the hang of, but it does take a while to work our way up. And that's how we're going to break it down and work on 4 balls. So now we're quickly going to go over how to transition from sync to async. It's actually very simple. All you have to do is take one of the throws and throw it about twice as high. So if I'm in sync and I want to go to async, I just take one of my throws, in this case my right hand, throw it twice as high, and it instantly falls into async. If I want to go from async back to sync, same thing, throw about twice as high, and it instantly falls back. You can also do it by slightly altering the height, throwing a little bit higher with one, but then it ends up being kind of a gallopy, and in my opinion, not a very visually pleasing way to transition. So while doing this, just one hand throws slightly higher until eventually it goes to synchronous, and same thing, slightly gallopy until it goes back to async. But in my opinion, much easier just to throw one high and switch that way. Your first trick, how to switch from async to sync. And so that is going to be the tutorial, how to juggle 4-ball synchronous, async, and then transfer between the two. Very, very important to get this step down because this is going to be the base pattern that will lead into the rest of your 4-ball tricks for your juggling journey. If you liked this video and found it helpful, please do all the YouTube things. We do appreciate it. And if you'd like to see a video on a specific trick in the future, leave that down below. We take your comments into consideration when making these videos. With that, that's going to bring the tutorial to an end. As always, my name is Chuck Clark, and this has been Circus Tutorials, and we'll see you in the next one.